Climate change affects us all, but not equally. Meanwhile, some seek to divide the public debate around climate, putting our crucial progress at risk. As WI members, we believe in fairness, inclusion and community. That's why we're exploring how climate change impacts inequality, fairness and public participation. Climate change hits hardest where people are already struggling. Women, people from minority ethnic backgrounds, low-income households and disabled people face higher risks, from energy bills to housing conditions and air quality. Globally, women are exposed to higher economical and physical risk as providers of care, food and fuel. And women are predicted to hold just 25% of green jobs by 2030. In the UK, extreme heat and flooding leave marginalised groups at greater risk as they are more likely to live in vulnerable areas or less able to adapt their homes. Women are more vulnerable to the costs of climate change, such as gas and food prices or flood repairs, as they face less financial security and are more likely to run single-parent households. Rising food prices and declining access to a healthy diet will affect low-income households and women, particularly during pregnancy. Despite being more affected, these groups are often underrepresented in climate discussions and decision-making. They are largely missing from environmental leadership roles. Only 7% of staff in the UK's environmental sector identified as people of colour or from racially, ethnically minoritized groups. In one UK council, people of colour made up only 3% of speaking time during climate discussions, while making up to 14% of participants. White women accounted for 33% of the discussion and women of colour only 2%. People from minority backgrounds are also less likely to be included in opinion polling. Public concern about climate change in the UK remains very high. 80% worry about climate change. Growing social and economic pressures, misinformation and harmful narratives are making conversations more complex and support less visible. 65% of people expect that climate action would lead to an increase in living expenses in the short term. But experts warn that the cost of inaction will far outweigh the cost of action. Climate denial is far less common than in the past. Stories about delaying action, doubting climate science, or exaggerating the personal costs and inconveniences of climate policies can be persuasive and hard to challenge directly. There's been a sharp increase in negative newspaper columns arguing for less action on climate, particularly around policies like phasing out gas boilers or introducing low-traffic neighbourhoods. At the heart of these challenges is the need to build trust and create dialogue. Policies must feel fair and be communicated well to avoid creating resentment. To ensure that climate solutions are fair, effective and reflect real-world experiences, many experts and campaigners are calling for deeper and more meaningful public engagement in climate decision-making. 72% of people think it's important that they are given a say in how to reduce the UK's carbon emissions. But 46% think the government is not doing a good enough job to involve them. Public engagement can take many forms, from simply being informed to sharing your views through consultations to co-creating solutions with decision makers. Public engagement can help build trust, fairness and legitimacy, improve the quality and responsiveness of decisions, and promote accountability and democratic rights. To build a fairer green future, we need a strong understanding of how climate change and policies affect people from marginalised groups and decision-making that listens to them. Open and constructive climate conversations and sensible debates where misinformation and unhelpful narratives are challenged. And solid and inclusive public participation on a national and local level. There are lots of ways to get involved, from starting a conversation in your community to sharing your experience. Check out our website for more information. Together, we can build a fair green future.